The Galactic Council chamber stretched wide under a dome of clear crystal that showed the slow turning of stars above Aloria Prime. Rows of seats rose in gentle curves, each one carved from different stone to honor the homeworld of every species present. Light from floating orbs bathed the room in soft gold and silver hues. Delegates sat in silence while their translators hummed low. The air carried faint scents of spice from insectoid worlds and clean ozone from gas giant habitats. At the center podium stood Elder Varnus of the Thalor, a tall figure with skin like polished obsidian and eyes that glowed pale blue. He raised one long hand, and the murmurs stopped at once. "Today we address the final breach by humanity," he said, in a voice that carried calm weight. "For many cycles we have watched their actions grow bolder. They terraform worlds marked as preserves. They build machines that think faster than any approved mind. They strike pirate fleets without waiting for our vote. And now they have freed slaves from a member world using force against lawful guards. This cannot stand. The Council has debated long enough. We now vote on the ultimatum." A screen above him lit up showing the proposed terms. Humanity must surrender all weapons classed as Tier 4 and above. They must allow permanent inspectors on every colony. They must pay reparations in rare minerals for damages caused. They must accept observer status only with no voice in decisions for 500 cycles. Refusal means full embargo, no trade, no passage through Council space, no protection. Ships that cross the line face destruction. Varnus turned his gaze across the chamber. Many heads nodded slowly. The insectoid Kresh clicked mandibles in approval. The avian Syrath ruffled feathers in quiet agreement. Even the pacifist Lumari, who hated all conflict, looked resigned. One by one they pressed glowing pads. The tally climbed fast. 89 in favor, 7 against, 12 abstained. Varnus nodded once. "The decision is made. Now we summon their ambassador." A side door slid open. Ambassador Elena Voss walked in alone. She wore a plain gray uniform with no decoration. Her dark hair was tied back tight. Her face showed no fear and no smile. She stopped at the center of the floor and looked up at the podium. The chamber watched her every move. Varnus spoke again. "Ambassador Voss, you have heard the terms. The Council expects your answer. Will humanity comply?" Elena stood straight. She reached into her pocket and took out a small crystal the size of her thumb. She placed it on a low stand beside her. A hollow projector rose from the floor and activated. A recorded voice filled the room. It belonged to President Karim al-Rashid, speaking from Earth. His tones stayed even and clear. "People of the Galactic Council, humanity has listened to your words for many years. We joined your union in hope of friendship and shared growth. We learned your rules. We followed many of them. We bent others when lives hung in the balance. Now we see the truth. Your system prizes calm over justice. It protects the old at the cost of the new. It fears change more than death. We will not chain our future to fear. Effective at this moment, all diplomatic ties end. All treaties suspend. All envoys return home. No further messages will come from us. No replies will go to you. We close the door. The recording stopped. Silence gripped the chamber. Then noise exploded. Voices shouted in a dozen languages. Translators struggled to keep up. One delegate stood and pointed. "This is madness." A fist on the table. "They dare insult us." A third whispered in terror. "What have we done?" Elena Voss waited until the worst of the storm passed. She looked at Varnus without blinking. The crystal contains the formal notice. It also lists every asset we leave behind. Embassies, trade stations, research outposts, all abandoned. You may claim them if you wish. We take only our people. She turned toward the door. Varnus called after her. Ambassador, wait, you cannot simply walk away. This act invites war. Elena paused, but did not turn. No, Elder Varnis. This act invites nothing. We do not threaten, we do not beg, we leave. She walked forward. The door opened for her. She stepped through with a soft hiss. Inside the chamber, chaos grew louder. Delegates argued in frantic bursts. Some demanded immediate fleet mobilization. Others begged for calm and new talks. Analysts rushed to consoles, pulling data on human strength. Numbers flashed across screens. 300 colonies, 40 billion citizens, shipyards hidden in asteroid belts, factories that never slept, weapons no one had seen in full use. One older delegate from the core world sat frozen. His voice came out small. They were always polite, always careful, always listening. He looked around at the others. What if they were never afraid of us? What if they were only waiting? No one answered. The stars above the dome kept turning slow and cold. Outside, Elena Voss entered a small shuttle. The pilot, a young human named Reyes, saluted sharply. "Ma'am, we are ready." She nodded and took her seat. The shuttle lifted silent on antigrav. It rose toward the waiting frigate in high orbit. Below, the council chamber lights flickered as more voices rose in panic. No one noticed the single human ship break orbit and accelerate away. It vanished into the dark between stars. The message was sent. The ties were cut. Humanity stepped back, and the galaxy felt the first true shiver of something unknown. Delegates from every corner of the galaxy stared at the empty spot where Ambassador Voss had stood. The silence lasted only seconds before voices crashed like waves against stone. Elder Varnis tried to call for order, but his words drowned in the noise. A Kresh delegate rose on 6 legs and clicked loudly. "This is an act of war. They mock our authority. We must respond now with force." Across the aisle, a Cyrath spread wide wings in alarm. "No, we must think first. Humans are unpredictable. Rushing in blind will cost us dearly." The Lumari representative, a soft glowing orb in a containment field, pulsed with anxiety. "We have never faced such rejection. Our system has lasted thousands of cycles. How can one young species break it so easily?" Analysts hurried to central consoles. Screens filled with data streams pulled from every archive. Numbers grew larger with each refresh. Human population, estimated at 42 billion and rising fast. Colony worlds counted at 317, with new ones claimed every month. Industrial output matched 3 full sectors combined. Ship production rates doubled every standard year. A quiet voice cut through the arguments. It belonged to Analyst Torin, an old cephalid with many tentacles wrapped around his datapad. "We must look at the simulations." He projected a holomap above the center podium. Red lines showed Council fleet movements. Blue dots marked human systems. When the red lines touched blue, the map shifted. In every case, Council ships vanished or retreated with heavy losses. Torin spoke again. "These are conservative models. We assume humans fight only with known weapons. If they hold secrets, the outcome grows worse." A predatory Zorath general snarled from his seat. "Then we strike harder. We gather every available ship. We crush their outer colonies. Show them the price of defiance." Several delegates nodded in agreement. Others shrank back. Varnis raised both hands high. "Enough. We will not rush to destruction. First we assess the damage. Trade already falters. Human freighters carried 40% of rare isotope transport. Their aid ships fed famine zones on 6 fringe worlds. Their medical drones saved millions in disaster areas. All of it stops today." He turned to the economic counselor, a small furred being named Lyra. "What is the immediate cost?" Lyra tapped her pad. Short-term loss in the trillions of standard credits. Long-term, if no replacement comes, famine on 10 worlds within a cycle. Supply chains break in 20 more. Panic buying starts now, across neutral markets. Varnus looked around the room. We depended on them more than we admitted. A young delegate from a newly joined species spoke up. Why did we push so hard? They saved the Vexari from slavery. We should have thanked them. The chamber grew quiet again. Many looked away in shame, others glared at the speaker. Varnus answered slowly. We acted to preserve order. The Vexari owners held seats here. Their laws were valid under our code. Change must come slow, or the whole structure falls. The young delegate shook his head. Perhaps the structure deserves to fall. Murmurs rose once more. Varnus silenced them with a sharp gesture. We need facts. Send scout probes to human border worlds. Track their movements. Monitor communications. Learn what they do next. A team of drones launched within the hour. They slipped through jump points toward human space. Reports came back fast. Human ships moved in perfect formation. No panic. No rush. They fortified key systems with new orbital platforms. Factories on outer moons glowed brighter than before. Civilian vessels rerouted to independent corridors, far from Council lanes. Quiet contacts appeared with fringe empires the Council had long ignored. The black market species, the rogue traders, the exile fleets, all received polite messages from human envoys. No threats, only offers, trade, tech exchange, mutual defense if needed. One probe captured audio from a human station. A calm female voice spoke to an alien captain. We no longer answer to the Council, but we still value friends. Come trade if you wish. Bring your goods. Leave with better ones. The probe operator shivered. They sounded happy, as if nothing changed. Back in the chamber, new data arrived every minute. A leaked recording surfaced from a Council spy satellite near Sol. It showed a human engineer in a vast shipyard. He laughed while welding a massive drive core. They told us to stop innovating, so we stopped telling them. The words echoed through the chamber. Delegates felt cold fear crawl up their spines. Varnus stood tall, but his glow dimmed slightly. We underestimated them. They played polite while they grew strong. Now they step away, and we scramble. What do they plan next? No one knew. Rumors spread like fire through dry grass. Some said humans prepared for invasion. Others claimed they built a new alliance to replace the Council. A few whispered the worst fear. What if they decide the galaxy is better without us? The hawkish Sorath general pounded his fist again. Then we hit first, before they grow any stronger. Varnus shook his head. No. We wait, we watch, we try to understand. If we attack now, we may wake something we cannot stop. The stars turned above the dome. Chamber lights burned steady. But peace no longer lived there. Fear took its place. And in the quiet corners, wise elders asked themselves the question no one wanted to voice. Did we just lose the only species willing to grow fast enough to save us all? Outside, the first human trade convoy appeared in neutral space. It carried goods the Council once controlled. Now sold to anyone with credits. No rules, no taxes, no oversight. The galaxy watched and waited for whatever came next. The Sol system felt different now. Ships moved with purpose through the busy lanes around Earth and Mars. No more Council badges on hulls. No more waiting for approval codes. Factories on the moon churned day and night. Bright sparks flew from welders as new frames took shape. In the heart of the Terran Assembly Building on Earth, President Kareem al-Rashid stood at a wide window. He watched shuttles rise like silver birds toward the orbital yards. His advisors gathered behind him. Admiral Reyes leaned against the table, arms crossed. The tall man with gray streaks in his hair looked calm, but his eyes stayed sharp. Dr. Lin Mei sat nearby, her fingers tapping a datapad. She studied reports from the outer colonies. The president turned to face them. "The council thinks we acted in anger," he said. "They believe we will regret this. But we planned it for years. Every administration saw the same. Walls. Rules that choke progress. Laws that protect the strong and punish the quick. We joined to learn and share. We stayed polite while we built our strength. Now we step free." Reyes nodded once. "The fleets are ready, sir. Not for war, for defense. We place sensor nets along every approach. Stealth platforms wait in the dark. If they come, we meet them on our terms, not theirs." Lin Mei looked up. "The biology side worries me more. Many council species live thousands of years. They breed slow. They fear fast change because it threatens their long lives. Humans breed fast. We adapt faster. We colonize worlds they call impossible. Ice worlds, high-gravity hells, radiation-soaked rocks. We thrive there. The council fears what we become, because we remind them of mortality." Karim walked to the table. He pulled up a holomap of human space. Blue spheres marked colonies. Green lines showed new trade routes. Red dots blinked where council probes had appeared. "They watch us now," he said. "Good. Let them see. We do not hide. We build. We trade. We talk to those they ignore. The fringe worlds need partners, not masters." A young aide entered the room. She carried a fresh report. "Sir, the first independent convoy just docked at Epsilon Station. They carried ore from our mines, paid in credits, no council tax. The alien captain sent thanks. He said this feels like freedom." Karim smiled thin. "Freedom costs, but we pay willingly." Across the system, people worked with new energy. On Titan, families gathered in domes to watch news feeds. A reporter spoke from a studio on Luna. "The severance is complete. No more council envoys. No more endless debates. Now." Pause. Crowds cheered in every colony square. Children waved flags with the simple human emblem. A blue globe circled by stars. In hidden shipyards deep in the Kuiper Belt, massive hulls grew. Engineers in heavy suits moved across scaffolding. One worker, named Jax, paused to look at his partner. "Remember when we had to file forms for every upgrade?" The other laughed. "Now we upgrade first. Ask forgiveness later. Never ask." They both grinned and returned to work. On a research station orbiting Proxima Centauri, Dr. Lin Mei met with her team. They stood around a biotank. Inside swam small creatures from a council-protected world, the Vixari. Freed in the raid months ago, Lin explained to the group. These beings were dying under council rules. Stagnant diets, limited breeding, forced habitats. We gave them choice. Now look. The creatures moved with vigor. Colors brighter. Numbers growing. One Vexari pressed against the glass. It waved a tentacle in greeting. The team smiled. "This is why we left," she said. "To let life grow free, not locked in amber." Back on Earth, President Karim addressed the assembly. Holoscreens carried his words to every world. "Citizens of humanity, we did not leave in hate, we left in clarity. The galaxy is vast, it holds wonders and dangers. We will face both on our own path. We offer hands to those who seek equals, not rulers. Trade will continue, aid will flow where needed, but no chains, no overseers. We build our future together." Applause thundered through the halls. Outside the building, night fell over the city. Lights glowed bright. People walked streets with heads high. In quiet rooms, Old soldiers met. They spoke of possible threats, of council fleets, massing of new weapons tested in secret. One veteran said low, "They think we are reckless, but we are careful. We prepare for the worst, hope for the best, and never wait for permission." Admiral Reyes joined them. He carried a small model of the newest dreadnought. Modular design, self-repairing hull, crew of augmented humans who laugh at high G. He set it on the table. "This is our answer if they force one. Not conquest, survival." The group nodded. In the outer colonies, settlers pushed borders further. They landed on worlds marked dead by council charts. They planted seeds in acid soil. They built cities under red skies. One pioneer stood on a hilltop. Wind whipped her coat. She looked at twin moons rising. No council voice in her ear. No rules holding her back. She whispered to the night, "This is ours now." Months passed. Human ships appeared in places long empty. They met with exile fleets, with rogue traders, with species pushed to the edge. Talks stayed simple. "We offer tech. You offer goods, or friendship, or nothing. Your choice." Many chose yes. New routes opened. Markets grew. The council watched from afar. Their probes saw activity, but no aggression. Only motion, constant motion, like a river finding new paths. In Saul, a quiet celebration took place. President Kareem raised the glass with his inner circle. "To the next step," he said. Reyes lifted his own. "To whatever comes." Lin May smiled. "To life unbound." They drank. Outside the stars shone clear. Humanity moved forward, one determined step at a time. The galaxy waited, unsure what that meant, but certain it would never be the same. Months passed in tense quiet across the galaxy. Council fleets gathered in staging areas near neutral zones. They numbered in the hundreds, sleek elder designs with shimmering shields and precise weapons. The High Command chose a small target first, a human mining outpost on the edge of claimed space, rich in heavy metals but lightly defended, so the spies reported. The fleet moved out in formation, led by Admiral Krell of the Zoroth, a scarred veteran who believed in overwhelming force. He stood on the bridge of the flagship and gave the order. "Take the station intact if possible, but show no mercy to resistance." The ships jumped in perfect sync. They emerged around the small rock called Outpost Gamma. Sensors swept the area. No human warships in sight. Only a handful of automated drones and a single freighter loading ore. Krell smiled thin. "Easy prey. Channels. This is Council enforcement. Surrender the facility and all personnel, or face destruction." Silence answered. Then the freighter powered up and slipped behind the asteroid. Krell frowned. "Launch boarding teams. Secure the mines." Before he finished speaking, the void came alive. Small shapes detached from the asteroid shadows. They looked like debris at first. Then they accelerated hard. Drones no bigger than fighters but moving at speeds that defied physics. They swarmed the lead cruisers. Point defense guns fired, but the drones twisted like living things. They latched on and burrowed. Explosions bloomed silent in vacuum. Shields flickered and died on 3 ships. Boarding pods followed, not clumsy council models. Sleek human designs that punched through hulls without warning. Inside the ships, human teams moved fast. Augmented soldiers in black armor carried rifles that spat hypersonic rounds. They used no lethal force on crew when possible. They stunned, neutralized, disarmed. One squad reached the bridge of a heavy cruiser. The captain raised hands in surrender. The human leader spoke through his helmet translator. "We take your ship. You live. Return home. Tell your council we defend what is ours." The fleet crumbled in minutes. Not one human ship appeared, only drones and hidden platforms. When the smoke cleared, 20 council vessels limped away, most with minimal crew left aboard. The rest drifted dark and quiet. Human tugs arrived soon after. They attached lines and pulled the hulks to their yards. No destruction, just salvage. A single broadcast went out on every frequency. This is not war. We are simply no longer listening. Do not test us again. The council chamber received the news in stunned horror. Screens showed the battle footage pulled from surviving ships. Delegates watched drones dance through fire. They saw humans bored without rage. Efficient, calm, precise. Elder Varnus sat heavy in his seat. His glow had faded to dull gray. "We sent them to die," he whispered. A Lumari orb pulsed red with anger. "We assumed they would fight like us, slow, deliberate, honorable. They fight like machines born of a death world, quick, ruthless when needed, merciful when not." The economic fallout hit harder. Human markets flooded neutral zones with goods, or at half the price, tech modules that worked better than council versions, food packs designed for any species. No tariffs, no restrictions. Fringe worlds bought in bulk. Some council members quietly did the same, through back channels. Lyra, the economic counselor, presented fresh numbers. Trade volume with humans now exceeds our internal flows in key sectors. They reroute everything through independent hubs. We lose control of the lanes. We lose revenue. We lose influence. Varnus looked at the hawkish Zorath general. "Your show of force failed." The general snarled but said nothing. His fleet's pride lay in ruins. New intelligence arrived daily. Probes captured images of human shipyards. Vast structures hidden in gas giant rings. Ships grew modular. Swap parts in hours. Repair in days. Crew quarters showed humans training in high gravity. They ran laps at 3G. They lifted weights that would crush elder bones. One leaked vid showed a human engineer. He stood before a black hole drive core. The device hummed with contained power. He spoke to his team. They said this tech was too dangerous. We made it safe, then better, then ours. Silence. Another file surfaced. A captured council spy drone recording. It floated near a human research lab. Inside, scientists tested a new weapon. A kinetic lance that punched through shields like paper. The lead scientist laughed. Council Ethics Board would never approve this. Good thing we left. The drone operator in the chamber shivered. They innovate without limits. They improve what we fear. A young delegate spoke up. Perhaps we should talk to them. Offer new terms, equal seats, no oversight. Varnish shook his head slow. They will not return on our terms. They left because our terms were chains. Now they grow beyond us. Simulations updated. Every model showed the same. If full war came, the council would lose. Not in years, in months. Human numbers swelled. Their worlds multiplied. Their tech leaped forward. And they shared it freely. With allies. New alliances formed in quiet corners. Exile fleets joined human convoys. Rogue traders flew under human protection. Fringe species sent ambassadors to Sol. Not to beg, to partner. One report chilled the elders most. A human colony on a world the council marked uninhabitable. High radiation, crushing pressure, acid rains. Humans built cities there. Domed gardens bloomed. Children played in shielded parks. A survey drone caught audio. A human settler spoke to his alien guest. This place tried to kill us. We said no. Now it feeds us. The guest, a scaled being from a desert world, nodded in awe. Your kind turns death to life. The settler shrugged. We had practice. Back in the chamber, fear turned to dread. Delegates whispered the truth no one wanted. Humanity was never contained. They humored us. They grew in secret. Now they stand tall. And we shrink. Varnus rose once more. We must prepare for what comes, not with fleets, with humility. If they choose to ignore us forever, the galaxy changes without us. The stars above the dome turned cold. Council lights burned low. Outside, human ships moved free. They traded, they built, they lived, and the old order cracked under the weight of something new, something unstoppable. Years passed, and the galaxy changed in ways no elder could predict. The Galactic Council chamber on Aloria Prime stood half empty now. Many seats gathered dust. Delegates from once loyal worlds had left quietly one by one. They sent messages of regret, but never returned. The Grand Dome still showed the stars, but fewer lights glowed below. Elder Varnus remained at the podium, though his steps moved slower. His obsidian skin had lost much shine. He looked across the sparse gathering. "We meet today for one last matter," he said. "The Council as we knew it no longer holds power. Our fleets are shadows. Our trade lanes lie quiet. Our laws carry no weight beyond old borders. We must face the truth. Humanity did not conquer us. They simply walked away, and the galaxy followed them." A young Sirath delegate ruffled her feathers. She spoke for the few who stayed. "We tried embargoes. We tried threats. We tried force. Each failed worse than the last. Now our own people trade with humans in secret. They buy human drives for their ships. They use human medicine in their hospitals. They send their young to human schools on neutral worlds. The old ways fade. A Lumari orb pulsed faint blue. We feared change. We built walls to keep it out. Humans tore no walls. They ignored them, and life flowed around us. We starve in our own perfection." Varnus nodded slow. "Then let us end this chapter with honesty." He activated the central projector. A galaxy-wide broadcast began. Every relay, every station, every ship picked up the signal. "People of known space," he began. "The Galactic Council speaks its final words as a governing body. We acknowledge the withdrawal of humanity. We recognize their right to choose their path. We admit our errors in judgment, for control when freedom was needed. We feared speed when growth was required. We protected stasis and lost vitality. No blame falls on one alone. We all shared the fault. To humanity we extend this offer. Return if you wish on equal terms. Full membership. No oversight. No limits beyond mutual respect. Or stay apart. We will not force the issue. We only ask that bridges remain open for those who seek them." The message ended. Silence followed across the stars. No reply came from Sol. No ships turned back. No diplomats appeared. Instead, human voices rose on open channels. Not from Earth. Not from the Assembly. From traders, from captains, from settlers. Simple words repeated on every frequency. "We hear you. We offer no conquest. We offer partnership to any who want it. Bring your goods. Bring your skills. Bring your dreams. Equals. Help as friends. Live without chains." Markets sprang up in neutral space. Huge stations grew at crossroads once controlled by council tariffs. Human hulls docked beside alien freighters of every shape. Zorath warriors sold ore next to Kresh merchants. Sirath scouts bought human navigation cores. Vexari, freed long ago, now ran their own ships under human flags. Children of many species played in shared parks on new worlds. No one asked for papers. No one checked bloodlines. Only trust and trade mattered. On a green world, far from old borders, Ambassador Elena Voss lived in quiet retirement. She tended a garden of earth flowers mixed with alien blooms. One day a small ship landed nearby. Out stepped a family of scaled beings from a desert fringe world. The parents bowed low. Their child, a tiny lizard with bright eyes, ran forward. He looked up at Voss. "Council." Voss knelt to his level. She smiled thin. "We did not leave the galaxy, little one. We left the cage. The cage was built with good intentions, but it grew too tight for some. Humans need room to run, to build, to make mistakes and fix them fast. The council wanted slow steps. We chose our own pace. The child tilted his head. Do you hate them now? Voss shook her head. No hate, just different ways. Some still talk, some trade, some become family. The galaxy grows bigger because we stepped aside. The child looked at the flowers. Can I plant one? Voss handed him a seed. Together they pressed it into soft soil. Above them, ships crossed the sky. Human designs mixed with elder curves and fringe spikes. No flags clashed, no weapons showed, only motion, constant motion. In Sol System, President Kareem al-Rashid stood, old now, on a balcony overlooking a new city on Mars. Red dust swirled gentle in the dome. Admiral Reyes, now gray and retired, sat beside him. Dr. Lin Mei worked nearby labs, still pushing boundaries. Karim spoke soft. We never wanted to break the old order. We only wanted space to breathe. Reyes nodded. They thought we would fall without them. Instead they faded, and we grew. Lin Mei joined them. She carried a small hollow of a distant colony. Look, a new world just opened. Humans and Vexari built it together. No council rules, just agreement. They named it Harmony. Karim smiled. Fitting. The galaxy no longer centered on one chamber. It spread wide. Centers bloomed everywhere. Human worlds, alien alliances, mixed settlements, trade hubs, research outposts, all connected by choice, not command. In quiet moments, elders on Aloria Prime looked up at the dome. Stars shone brighter now. More lights moved between them. More voices filled the void. The council had sought calm. Humanity brought chaos. But from that chaos came life. Vigorous, adaptable, unstoppable. The old order crumbled not in fire, but in irrelevance. And the new one rose not from conquest, but from invitation. Voss watched the child run back to his parents. They waved thanks and boarded their ship. It lifted gentle and joined the stream above. She stood alone in her garden. Wind carried scents of many worlds. She whispered to the air. We did not win. We simply continued. And the galaxy continued with us. The stars kept turning, busier than before, full of promise, full of motion, full of humanity, and all who chose to walk beside it. The cage was gone. The sky stretched endless, and no one looked back.